Hi, today we're going to be talking about logarithms. So here's where logarithms come into play. We can solve something like this pretty easily by just dividing by 2. But the question is, we cannot divide by 2 here to get x by itself. We cannot subtract 2 or anything like that. So how do we get x by itself so that we know what x is? We know x has an answer because 2 to the third power is 8, but we're stuck. And that's where logarithms come into play. So what a logarithm is it solves a base problem. So if you have something like 2 to the x equals 8, this will solve it, and b being the base. So basically that's what it does. Logs get rid of this bottom number, so this drops down and you solve for x. So if you take a look at it, there's a pattern here. B to the y, this base to this, equals that. They switch spaces. So that's basically how it goes. Okay. So this is a logarithmic form of it, and this is an exponential form. They're very, very, very connected. Logarithm is just the inverse of an exponent. So how do we convert between the two? Well, since we have a base 3, we're going to have a log 3, right? And since we're going from 4 is small to big, we're going to go from big to small. In other words, this stays underneath and the 4 and the 81 switch places. That's it. Try this one. What if we have a log and we want to go to an exponent? Well, the base is 10. So we're going to have 10 and we're going to switch these two. So 3 equals 1,000. And you know you did it right because it makes sense. If I had 1,000 to the 3 equals 10, that makes no sense. So make sure you double check for that. Go ahead and try this problem. All right, so how do we find the values? There is no log 5 button on the calculator. So you can't use a calculator on this one. You got to ask yourself the question. 5 to the what power is 125? That answer would be 3. So this one right here, 4 to the what power is 16. Well, 4 squared, so it's going to be 2. But because it's a fraction, it's going to be negative. That's it. So anytime you see a fraction, the answer is negative. If we have 3 to the what power is 0, the answer is no solution. It's not possible. Now this one says 2 to the what power is 2 to the 8. So once again, 2 to the what power is 2 to the 8. Well, 8. It's kind of like repeating myself. In other words, the base 2 here cancels that base 2. And you're left with just the exponent. That is how you're going to use to solve. Go ahead and try this problem. Try this problem. Try this problem. Okay, so how do we do this using a calculator? Notice there is no base number here or here with these ln's. So all we got to do is literally use the calculator. There's a log button on your calculator. Plug it in with 900 and you end up with 2.9542. If you do it with E, that one's kind of weird because E is a number, but it's ln and then you type in E and it'll have like a thing, just put E to the 1. And if you do that, you get 1. And if you do ln of a negative, you get no solution because it cannot be negative. You can never log a negative or 0. It's not possible. Try this problem. Try this problem. Okay, how do we solve an equation with logarithms? Well, if we notice this is base 10, which means log can actually solve it. So if you log both sides, Or let's rewrite it as log base 10 or just log. And we're going to flip-flop them. So log of x minus 1. Log of, excuse me. So you do log of 25 equals x minus 1. In other words, I just rewrote it real quick. Or I logged both sides. And so now we add 1. And plug that in the calculator, and you get 0.3979. Let me reteach this in a different way. So if we know base 10, we need to get rid of that. What cancels out base 10? Well, the answer is log. So you log both sides. And what happens is these cancel out. So you're left with log of 25 equals x minus 1. So that's a similar approach, however it makes more sense to you. But if you ever see base 10, you're just going to use log. Go ahead and try this problem. Okay, what base goes with ln? So the answer is e. How can you tell? Just look at the calculator. It's above it. So what we do is we're going to e both sides, like that. So these cancel. So you're left with 2x plus 3 equals e to the 4th. From here we can solve. And then from there you can plug that in the calculator if you want, but it's 25.799. Go ahead and try this problem.